think it's about time for an Attila update. Let's go. Yeah, so I thought, basically, I've had Attila here for 9 months, nearly 3,000 kilometers now. Now, I've made content since December when I bought him of me just using him, but I haven't really gone very much into the ownership experience, which I suppose is of interest to people that may be considering getting a Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450 for themselves. Now, as you can see here, I've gone for the analog dash version. I'm not a fan of flashy screens, really. I spend all day, every day in front of screens. I don't really need screens when I'm out enjoying my hobby. And the analog dash is absolutely fine for me. It has one drawback, which we will mention later. Correction. Actually, I decided that this video was going to be long enough already, so I will be covering the analog dash in a separate video, and that video should be coming to you next Tuesday. So first of all, as I said, we've done nearly 3,000 kilometers now. We've not had a single issue. So that's been brilliant. I've not even had to adjust the chain, although it's just about due a little tweak now. So basically, since I've had the bike, all I've done is put air in the tyres and fuel in the tank. These Royal Enfields, the Sherpa engined Royal Enfield, so the Guerrilla 450 and the Himalayan 450, they've now got, they have a 12-month inspection schedule, so 12-month servicing. So that's a step up from previous bikes where Royal Enfield have tended to have a 6-month service interval. So this bike hasn't had a service, it only had the initial service, the 300 mile, 500 kilometer first change of oil. Since then, nobody's touched it, and as I said, 3,000 kilometers, no issues, no warning lights, nothing silly. It's been absolutely fine. So let's just go a little bit into the spec of this particular bike. This is Attila the Guerrilla. Now, I had Attila delivered with Metzeler Road Tech tyres fitted. On my test ride, there was nothing wrong with the Seat semi-knobbly tyres that this bike comes with as standard. But I did feel as though the chassis was more capable than the tyres. I did feel like some decent rubber on here would enable you to exploit this wonderful, stiff, sporty chassis a little bit better. So that's why I went straight for some decent tyres. And these Metzeler Road Tech tyres, they give a smoother ride. And they also feel like they have a lot of grip on the side of the tyre, so they do really inspire confidence in the bends. So if you can afford to do so, and if you really want to enjoy your Guerrilla in the twisties, it's definitely a worthwhile upgrade, getting some decent branded tyres on here. In actual fact, this chassis is so good, I haven't really got it into trouble at all yet. It's so good that I'm thinking that when these road techs have worn out, I might actually even go for a full-on sport tyre. This is a sport touring tyre. I think I'll probably go for full-on sport tyres next time, because I only use this bike here on the roads in the mountains. I don't do any long distance riding or fast road work, so yeah, grippy tyres are always an advantage if you're riding roads like this. So as well as changing the tyres before delivery, I had some accessories fitted. So I have the instrument cowl and the headlight stone guard, mesh guard. I also have the very small, low profile engine protectors. I've also gone for the official Royal Enfield bar end mirrors. And most recently, of course, I was fortunate enough to be able to get my hands on one of the rather sexy Arrow silencers for the Sherpa 450s. So I also have the Arrow silencer on here. Now that has the effect of, in my opinion, looking better. It does give the engine a bit of a bassier note, a bit of a deeper sound, but it's not loud. I mean, in terms of decibels, I don't think it's any louder than the standard one, but it just gives the engine a bit more of a deeper note. Positive, unexpected positive of that silencer was also that it would appear that because it's freer flowing, the ECU, to compensate, seems to have richened up the mixture. So this engine actually runs a lot smoother, particularly at low speeds, than it did originally. And in addition to that, the engine picks up much more cleanly, much more enthusiastically when you get back on the throttle after having let the revs drop. So again, that feels like a richer mixture. The engine just has a little bit more low down grunt when you need it, and it picks up cleaner and stronger. So I'm very happy with the Arrow silencer that I fitted. The suspension on the Guerrilla is firm but controlled. It's on the sporty side, but it's actually fine. It's comfortable enough. It's fine over speed bumps, for instance. If you just slow down, it's not a problem. I've had no issues with it hurting me. The Showa suspension seems to do a good job of protecting you from the harshest of bumps. I did actually go through a big pothole just now up at Cala Alto, and I kind of flinched thinking this is going to hurt, and it didn't. So yeah, the suspension is taut, but it works well, definitely works. The brakes, these are the best brakes I've had on any Royal Enfield. The front brake here is an easy two-finger job. It has a lot of power with two fingers. We have a big rear disc brake on this bike as well. The rear brake is very strong if you ask it to be. So the brakes are superb. Really happy with the brakes. As I said, I've had 4 or 5 Royal Enfields. This is the Royal Enfield with the best brakes so far. What else? Yeah, the seat could be construed as probably one of the bike's lesser points. It's perfectly fine. I can ride this bike for about an hour and a half, no problem. But after that, my backside does start to get a bit uncomfortable. And with this being a very sculpted seat, there's really only one position where you can sit. I mean, you can shift back a little bit and brace yourself with your feet on the foot pegs to end up in a slightly different position, or against the tank you could brace yourself. But in general, the seat does tend to put you back into the same position. So yeah, certainly after an hour and a half, you'll be looking to hop off the bike for a bit. Now, I know that Royal Enfield do a variety of accessory seats for this bike, so I dare say some of those are going to be more comfortable than the standard seat. I won't be getting one because A, it's unlikely that I would ever ride for more than an hour and a half at once anyway, and B, I don't really like the looks of the accessory seats that I've seen so far. I don't think they look as nice as the standard seat, so I'll be sticking with the standard seat. As many people have commented, the gearbox on these engines is superb. It's really light in its action, very precise. It's probably one of the lightest gearboxes to operate that I've experienced. I don't have any trouble finding neutral with it either, so that's all positive. Now, one thing I hadn't done since I've had the bike was have a look at the supplied toolkit, which is something that I tend to do when I get a new bike, just to see if I've got enough tools with me at all times to do the essentials if necessary. So today I did take the seat off. The tools are under the seat on this bike, and I was surprised to find that we have not one but two tool pouches. That's pretty impressive. So they spread the tools between two pouches, probably for reasons of space. But yeah, it looks like, again, very comprehensive toolkit. There's everything in there that you would need to adjust the chain, you know, your routine maintenance. So yeah, that's a good toolkit. And surprisingly, I was a little bit wary of actually taking everything out, because you know what it's like. You take these things off, you take everything out, and then when you go to put it back in again, you can't get the bugger to fit. Well, I've got to say, it was an absolute doddle. Just put everything back in the pouches, rolled them up again, and just put them under. There's some little rubber bungees under the seat. Just put them back under there. Seat fitted back on a treat. No struggles, no swearing. So yeah, easy to get on and off. And yeah, a comprehensive toolkit. As usual, the quality's not great. For instance, in my experience, if you use the preload spanner twice, by the end of that time, pretty much the teeth have kind of worn away. You know, because it tends to be quite soft steel that they use for these tools. So yeah, once you've used them maybe twice, they're not that good. But things like spanners obviously last well enough. So to sum up the ownership experience, basically it's been trouble-free. It's just been take it out of the garage, enjoy it, put it back. I think that the price that these bikes are, with the Showa suspension and the decent power from this engine, I think they do represent very good value still. I think it's a lot of bike for the money. You can ride it how you feel, you know, you can get out and thrash it, use it like a little mini sports single, which it does very well, or you can just go for a gentle ride with your mates. It'll do it all. I would say that it's probably not the best bike for city riding. There have been quite a few complaints about the fueling of these bikes in stop and go situations, that they could be quite hard to ride. I've experienced enough with this bike to say, yeah, I think that is true. They are a little bit unhappy at low speeds, but that's just the case for many bikes today with the tune that they have to put on these bikes to get them through the emissions test. Obviously they run them very lean at the sort of engine speeds that the tests are performed at, so you do end up with a slightly lumpy kind of performance at the bottom of the engine. yeah, which you tend to really notice in stop and go situations in city traffic. So if, for a city rider, I would definitely go for one of the J series engines, which are absolutely beautiful in all conditions. They're a doddle to ride. Something like a Hunter, I think, would be a better choice. But if you're looking for a bike for the open road, these take some beating. So on this sort of road, this is where Attila really shines. It's absolutely wonderful to ride on a road like this. So to summarise, my ownership experience, 9 months, 3,000 kilometres, has been totally positive. I've got no real complaints. Just that the seat is not the comfiest I've had, but it's not a problem. It doesn't need to be. I mean, I bought this bike to add to my Meteor and my Himalayan 411, just because I felt like it would be nice to have a bike with a little bit more performance, and a bike that kind of handles in a sporty way, so I can have like a little sporty bike. I don't need a sports bike in a traditional sense, because the roads around here are too tight and twisty for that much power. This bike seemed to have the right amount of power, decent chassis. I thought if you put some good tyres on it, you can have a load of fun with it. And that's exactly what it's delivering. It's absolutely delivering on the brief. So I'm really pleased that I chose to go with the Guerrilla. It's just a great addition to my garage. And yeah, as of now, 9 months, 3,000 kilometres, I would say if you fancy one, get one. Oh, I just mentioned the vibes, by the way, because I know with the Himalayan, a lot of people criticised it for the vibrations. The 450 Himalayan was criticised for vibrations. I don't find the vibrations anywhere near as bad on this bike, and for me they're never an issue, and I'm quite sensitive to vibration. The only time they might start to bother me would be on the motorway. If I rode half an hour at 70 miles an hour, I think I might get tingly hands. But in normal riding, where it speeds up and down all the time, it's absolutely, I don't have any comfort issues at all with the vibrations on this bike. So yeah, that's just another little bit of information. So overall, I would recommend one, and it's definitely going to be around for quite a while in my garage. I don't have any other bike that delivers what this delivers, so very, very happy with it. Attila is at the moment a keeper for sure. Right, so I'm off home now to get Ruby a sausage. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little update. I have to do an update on Norman actually, because Norman's quite an intriguing case. I haven't really done a lot of ownership experience coverage with Norman, but yeah, I'll try and do that at some point, because he definitely deserves a little bit of a mention as well, because he's been excellent. So thank you for watching. Take care until the next one. Hope to see you there. Bye bye.
So, Ruby, what do you think of Daddy's time with the Guerrilla? Oh, it's been bananas. Oh, I get it. Bananas, Guerrilla. Yeah, nice one. Well, you've been such a good girl helping Daddy today, so you deserve a sausage. Oh, yeah, sausage. Nice sausage. Oh, yeah. That went quick. It's gone. Cracking.